The equipment needed to participate in a game of ping pong is similar to shrinking down version of tennis. The table tennis is played indoor and includes just 3 pieces of equipment to participate. All you need is a paddle and a ball and a table to play on. Table tennis balls are made out of a unique plastic-like materials called celluloid. Paddle can come in many different variations that favor the player's specific skills and techniques. Pinhole paddle. This means that the thumb and the index finger wrap around the handle on one side and the other finger rests on the opposite side in the most comfortable manner. The handshake grip in the table tennis is a grip in which you handle the blade as if you're shaking hands. The table looks similar to a small version of a tennis court with line marking the area of play and a net dividing into two courts. Net and post. The net is made of a stretchy nylon materials and measure 6 inches from the top of the net down to the table. Table tennis robots. These robots range in terms of cost and models, but they are all designed to serve balls across the table for players to return. Table tennis shirts. Shirts tend to be loose and lightweight, which allow for the players to be comfortable while moving around the table. Table tennis shorts. Table tennis shorts should be loose and light so that the player can move with ease around the table. Table tennis shoes. Table tennis shoes are balanced between being lightweight for quick movement and being sturdy enough to prevent ankle or injuries.
I'll be discussing the rules of singles in table tennis. First is games are played to 11 points. A game is played to 11 points. A game must be won by 2 points. A match is generally the best 3 of 5 games. Next is alternates serves every 2 points. Each side of the table alternates serving 2 points at a time. Exemption. After tied 10 to 10, service alternates at every point. Can you lose on serve in ping pong? Yes, there is no separate rule for serving on game point. Next is the toss the ball straight up when serving. How do you serve the ball in ping pong? Hold the ball in your open palm behind your end of the table. Toss this 6 straight up and strike it on the way down. It must hit your side of the table and then the other side. Take note, once the ball leaves the server's hand, it is in play and so counts as the receiver's point if the ball is missed or mishit. Next is the serve can land anywhere in singles. There is no restriction on where the ball lands on your side or your opponent's side of the table. It can bounce 2 or more times on your opponent's side. If so, that is your point. Bounce over the side or even hit the edge. Next is doubles serves must go right court to right court. The serve must bounce in the server's right court and receiver's right court. Note, landing on center line is fair. Doubles partners switch places after their team serves twice. Next is a serve that touches the net on the way over is a let. Can the ball hit the net in ping pong? Yes, during a rally, if it touches the top of the net and then otherwise land as a legitimate hit, but not when serving. If a serve ball hits the net on the way over and otherwise legally bounces in play, it is a let serve and is done over. There is no limit on how many times this can happen. Next is alternate hitting in a doubles rally. Doubles partners must alternate hitting balls in rally, no matter where the ball lands on the table. Next is volleys are not allowed. Can you hit the ball before it bounces in ping pong? No. In regular tennis, you may volley the ball, hitting the ball before it bounces on your side of the net. But in the table tennis, this results in a point for your opponent. Take note, when your opponent hits a ball that sails over your end of the table without touching it, and then hits you or your paddle, that is still your point. Next is if your hit bounces back over the net by itself, it is your point. If you hit the ball in a rally or on a serve, and it bounces back over the net after hitting your opponent's sides of the table, due to extreme spin without your opponent touching it, that is your point. Next is touching the ball with your paddle hand is allowed. What happens if the ball hits your finger or hand during a ping pong rally? If the ball touches your paddle hand and otherwise results in a legal hit, there is no rule violation and play shall continue as normal. Your paddle hand includes all fingers and hand area below the wrist. But what if the ball touches a player's body anywhere else during a ping pong rally? You may not touch the ball with your non-paddle hand for any reason. It will result in a point for your opponent. But if your opponent's hit sails over your side of the table without touching it and hits any part of you or your paddle, that is still your point. Next, you may not touch the table with your non-paddle hand. You may touch the ball or the table with your paddle hand after reaching it to return a short serve, for example, or other parts of your body. Take note, if the table moves at all from your touching it during a rally, that is your opponent's point. Next is an edge ball bouncing off the horizontal tabletop surface is good. An otherwise legal serve or hit may contact the top edge of the horizontal tabletop surface and be counted as valid, even if it bounces sidewise. The vertical sides of the table are not part of the legal playing surface. And lastly is honor system applies to disagreement. If no referee is present during a match and the players disagree on a certain call, the honor system applies and the players should find a way to agree or play the point over. Ping pong carries a tradition of fierce but fair play. Help us keep it that way. That would be all. Thank you.
The rules of doubles. Unlike the singles game where the ball can bounce anywhere on the table during service, in doubles the ball can only bounce on the right half portion of the table for both the server and the receiver. Like the singles game, the service there alternates every 2 points between teams, but it also alternates between players on the same team. Once your team has finished your two servers, will swap sides with your partner. The person you were serving to now serves and your partner is the new receiver. Doubles matches have a certain order of play that must be followed. Imagine two teams players and A and B and player X and Y. Player serves to player X who then returns the ball. Player B must then play the next shot and player Y the shot after. Next shot and player Y the shot after. This pattern goes on A, X, B, Y until the point is decided. If the wrong player makes that return, the team loses the point. At each change of service, the last receiver shall become server and the partner of the previous server shall become the receiver. For example, a correct pattern would be player A has played his two service to player X. Player X then plays his two service to player B. Player B will then play his two service to player Y. Player Y will play his two service to player A. Player A will then restart the sequence all over again, and the sequence will repeat itself until it's changed over at the end of the game. A changeover occurs when one team has scored 5 points. This will also change of the order of receiving. For instance, players and A and B score 5 points first, whilst as serving to X. After changing ends, player A will serve to player Y for the remainder of the game.